Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into something a little different for us. We're unpacking a novel.
Yeah, a very special book, actually. It's called Great Again by Bill Day.
And we wanted to talk about this one because it's not just fiction. I mean, if you want to understand the political fault lines running through America right now, this book is pretty essential reading.
The story is set against this backdrop of a modern, super divided America. In the world of the book, there's this aggressive administration that's cracking down really violently on immigrants.
And it takes that huge political conflict and just shrinks it down to a single living room in New Jersey.
Exactly. And that's where we meet the two main characters.
Right, who on paper should absolutely never, ever even be in the same room, let alone find common ground.
Not at all. So on one side, you have Jack O'Malley. He's this older, red hat-wearing MAGA supporter, a former Marine lieutenant colonel, just very set in his ways.
And crashing right into his world is Sofia Rivera. She's 16, an undocumented immigrant from El Salvador. And she is just, cynical, hostile.
A completely impossible pairing.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to track the journey of these two people and see how this crisis they share forces them to confront everything they believe in. And it all begins with Jack's world just completely falling apart.
Right, his collapse.
So we meet him in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. It's about 40 minutes south of New York City. He's in this beautiful family home. It's been in his family for generations.
It's the cornerstone of his identity.
Mm-hmm.
But behind the scenes, his finances are in shambles. He's got these crushing medical bills. He lost his job.
He's facing total financial ruin. The house has to go.
And the thing that makes his situation so symbolic of the whole story is how he got injured in the first place.
Oh, the irony is just dripping from this part of the story.
Because he needed to clean the gutters on his house, but he refused to hire a work crew that employed Mexican laborers.
So he does it himself.
He climbs up there himself, falls off the roof, and breaks his back. The medical debt from that one decision, driven by his own ideology, is what finally sinks him.
His beliefs literally crippled him.
And that's where the big twist comes in. He's desperate. He needs to get the house ready to sell, and his acquaintance, Robert Matthews, finds him the only affordable help he can get.
Which is, of course, an undocumented cleaning crew.
The ultimate act of hypocrisy. He has to hire the very people he blames for everything wrong with America.
Anna Rivera and her daughter, Sofia. So Sofia shows up, and she's got this attitude.
Oh, a terrible attitude. She's defiant, she's hostile, and she just flat out refuses to work. She tells Jack she's only there to translate for her mom, Anna, who only speaks Spanish.
And Jack, being this former Marine lieutenant colonel,
he sees a brat who needs to be broken. That's his mindset. He tries to apply this, military-style discipline to break this brat. The confrontation is it's explosive. Jack just lights into her. He's screaming about how she came all the way to America, got the benefit of schools and English lessons just to drop out and live off taxpayers.
But the thing is, and you see this pretty clearly, Sofia is incredibly smart. She's perceptive. She might be a dropout, but she understands people.
Now, this is the moment.
Yeah.
This is the pivot for the entire novel.
Right.
A book club could spend an hour just on this scene.
Because she doesn't just fold. She doesn't apologize.
No.
She cracks. But her outburst isn't weakness. It's this raw, genuine pain that just punctures right through his political armor.
And what did she say?
She turns all that anger right back on him, crying and yelling. And this is the line that changes everything. She screams, "I didn't want to leave my home just like you don't want to leave yours now."
Wow.
And then she hits him with, "Can you understand that, old man?"
That must have just stopped him cold.
It does. He's stunned. Because suddenly, this isn't about politics or taxes. It's about the shared human terror of losing your home.
He finally has a frame of reference he can understand, which sets up the next section perfectly, where the book starts giving him and the reader that crucial context.
Yes, because up until now, Jack only understands the symptoms of immigration from the news. The numbers, the rhetoric. He doesn't know the cause.
So his friend Robert fills in the blanks.
And the story is horrifying. We learn that Anna, Sofia's mother, was stabbed by an MS-13 gang member while she was pregnant with Sofia.
That's what made her flee in the first place.
But it's more complicated than that. Sofia actually went back to El Salvador for 3 years. She loved it there. But she was forced to come back here because a local gang member decided he wanted to marry her.
Was basically a threat of abduction.
Of course. She was fleeing direct personal violence, not looking for a handout.
And this is where Jack's transformation really begins, right? He doesn't just take Robert's word for it.
No, he goes and does his own research. He looks up the history of MS-13, and what he finds just shatters his entire framework.
What does he find?
He learns that MS-13 didn't start in El Salvador. It started in Los Angeles, California, with alienated Salvadoran refugee kids in the 80s.
And then U.S. policy.
U.S. policy started deporting these gang members back to El Salvador, a country that was completely unprepared to handle them. We essentially exported a problem that turned into a massive crisis over there.
The irony is just staggering. The very thing he despises was, in part, created and made worse by American actions.
It forces a total ideological reckoning for him. He realizes it's a cycle.
And that new understanding changes how he treats Sofia.
Completely. He stops trying to dominate her and starts trying to connect. He tells her about his late mother's love for birds, starts pointing them out in the yard.
He even prints out information for her on GED classes.
He's trying to become the supportive father figure that he failed to be for his own daughter. And that brings us to the final section, the moral line in the sand,
where Jack is forced to choose.
The temptation arrives in the form of Lou Caprisi, his buddy from the steam room.
Jack had this idea to start a neighborhood group to locate and report undocumented individuals. He dropped it. But his old friend, Big Lou, wants to bring it back.
Right, because Lou sees an opportunity. He knows Jack's military background gives the whole thing what he calls street cred, credibility.
And Lou's already taken the next step. He's got a meeting lined up with the contact at ICE.
So Lou needs Jack to be there. But Jack isn't really on board with the idea anymore.
He's not. But he is desperate for cash to save his house. And his only real asset is his boat.
And Lou knows this, so he makes Jack an offer.
It's a stunning offer, really.
$100,000 cash for the boat. But all Jack has to do is show up to the meeting. That's it. Just be there.
Just his presence. It's a deal for his silent compliance, basically.
And Jack, feeling that pressure, he agrees.
So they go to the meeting, Newark, IC office, with this Tony Martino, who's a deputy director there.
And Lou is, he's all in. He's pitching his illegal Watch of America idea. But Tony, the ICE official, kind of pulls it back to reality.
Right. He says the whole concept is interesting, but what they really need are leads on people who already have warrants or deportation orders. And this is where it all comes to a head. Lou sees his shot. He thinks, okay, this is the moment to prove the concept works.
He turns to Jack, right there in the meeting, and demands the address of Sofia Rivera.
He's asking Jack to offer her up as a test run.
It's an unbelievable amount of pressure. The $100,000, his family home, it's all right there. All he has to do is give up an address.
Betray this young woman and her family.
But he doesn't. Jack he stands up. He looks at Lou and he says it so clearly.
I'm going to keep my boat.
And I'm out of this deal. He just walks away.
He walks away from the money. Lou, his supposed friend, goes behind his back and turns the family in anyway. He reveals they're fugitives with a deportation order.
So an ICE raid is coming for them. Immediately.
The clock is ticking, and Jack has to act. He fully commits to his choice, speeds over to where they're living in Red Bank, and brings the entire family back to his house to hide them during a storm.
It's an unbelievable transformation. The guy who wouldn't have some guy named Jose on his lawn is now running a sanctuary house.
He's hiding Anna, Sofia, her boyfriend Memo, the kids, all of them, while an immigration lawyer tries to reopen their asylum case. The book jumps forward 6 months for the resolution.
And Jack is still in his home. It's been damaged. Lou apparently tried to set a fire, so his choice had real dangerous consequences.
But he's not alone.
No. He's surrounded by this new, unconventional family, and the book ends with this beautiful, symbolic scene.
4th of July.
It's on the same land his immigrant grandfather built on. It's the American story, just redefined on Jack's new terms.
And there's a personal resolution for him, too.
The biggest one. His estranged daughter, Beth, comes back, and she introduces him to his grandson, Kieran, who is mixed race.
And for Jack, that's the final piece. He tells her, "You were right. Our unity is our diversity." The ultimate lesson being, together we stand, divided we fall.
It's a powerful story that forces you, the reader, to look past all the political labels and just see the person.
Right. And that's really the power of this novel. It challenges you as you're reading to think about these really tough questions, which is why we wanted to end with this final thought for you to consider.
If push came to shove, and you were forced into a situation like Jack's, choosing between your own stability, your own home, and protecting a vulnerable person's life, which of your own fundamental principles would you sacrifice?
And which ones would you protect? It's a really relevant story and something important to think about.